Hi Phil, Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with another playlist video. So this is what I've been playing on my turntable and in my CD drive this week. Remember, I am multi-format man, so there is no differential or favoritism towards any particular format. It's whatever I feel like playing. Some of the stuff is new, some of the stuff is not so new. So I hope it inspires you, and also I always like to know what you're playing as well. So always let me know in the comments, because some of what you mention inspires me for what I play next as well. So first up is blues rock, or is it funky blues rock? Well, we're going back to the mid-70s, and it's the Climax Blues Band. And I have to admit, sometimes when I play albums, I don't always play the whole thing. I am one of those people that will just, if I had friends round, by the end of the night, there'd be records everywhere. Some would be in sleeves, some wouldn't be in sleeves, and when the CD format came out, it was the same. There were just CDs all over the place. And I know some people just religiously put on a record and they play the whole thing, even if there's some tracks they don't necessarily like, and they just do the whole thing. I like shuffle. So when I listen to things digitally, I just press shuffle and I have no idea what's going to come up. So sometimes when I play records, I go for a specific track. So I'm featuring this album, but I have to admit, I've zoned in on a particular track and I've not been that adventurous. It is Couldn't Get It Right, opening track on side 2. Absolutely brilliant. 1976. Yes, it is the year of Presence and Rainbow Rising and No Heavy Petting and stuff by UFO. But this track by this band got in the charts. And of course, they'd been going a long time. And by this time, I think they were running out of steam in trying to be a blues band. And you can get 2 wonderful box sets from Cherry Red still, hopefully, that cover their entire back catalogue, including this one. But this came in a gatefold sleeve, and it was on, what was the label? It was on quite a different BTM Records, and the essay on the back was from Charles Shamuri from NME, obviously saying how fantastic the band was, hoping that this would be the record that just catapulted them into the limelight. It did give them some limelight, but they weren't around for that much longer afterwards. But that has been on my turntable this week. Next is something brand new. Completely brand new, and I'm going to be talking to one of the guys from this band soon. They are called the Decon Traps, or Decon Traps. It's run by the bass player. He's in the current lineup of Queen, and that is Neil Fairclough. They're a great brand new British rock band. I'm trying to think wherever I connect them to now, you're going to just tick boxes. Yes, Brian May plays on it, okay, and he plays wonderfully well on it, as you'd imagine. If you like Son of Man, if you like Cats in Space, if you like Mog's Motel, if you like that kind of British rock with great choruses, but I would say this is heavier, actually. This is heavier than any of those bands I've mentioned, but it's still wonderfully produced. I don't think I can show you a picture of them, can I? It's one of these digipacks where it's to give you an idea. No, I can't. But there's lots of kind of illustrations like this, so it's a nice booklet with the lyrics in. Well, there's a picture of them. You can just about see that. There's quite a few of them for a new band. But check that out. It's only just come out, and it's really, really superb. And as I say, I might be talking to Neil in the near future as well. So that's a bit of rock. Where should we go next? Should we do some jazz? Let's do some jazz. I've not been that adventurous with jazz this week. What I've done is I've stuck to an absolute classic. I've gone back to the year of my birth, because the year of my birth was 1959. And whereas we may look at years like 1970, 1973 as being the pinnacle of the world of rock music within rock, very heavy, very humble, Paranoid, etc. 1959 was when the jazz classics arrived. Kind of Blue, but it was one of them. But this isn't that one. I was hesitating because there's others and I need to be able to mention at the same time. There's one, John Coltrane, isn't there? But this one is Charles Mingus. And many of you who are jazz fans will know this as Mingus from 1959. And of course, those of you, even if you think, I don't do jazz, mate, you'll know some of these tracks, especially Goodbye Pork Pie Hat, which, of course, has been covered by so many people, most especially by the late, great Jeff Beck. It's the kind of music that some of you will have heard through the 80s and 90s in various coffee shops across the world. But there's some great music on here, and there's some great motifs, little riffettes that kind of just bury themselves into your brain. Where have I been playing this from? For those of you who want to know where to start, I've been playing it from the complete Columbia RCA Mingus albums, which has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, could be 10 discs in. Or you can get this on eBay or Discogs at a reasonable price. These were fantastic box sets when they came out from Columbia. They did so many of rock bands and jazz artists, but this has really been great for my jazz education. Next is very heavy. I'm going to do a separate video on this because I'm so amazed by this next album. I just can't stop playing it. And it is The Last Will and Testament by Opeth. Geez, this is just incredible. This is absolutely amazing album. Absolutely amazing. This is death prog, symphonic metal prog, everything with sprinkle of European folk horror, folk on it, and it's got everything. I've always said that the album Damnation is the doorway into Opeth, and then you've got Ghost Reveries and Still Life and the most recent stuff and anything, loads of place to bounce off at. But now I'm changing that to say that, yeah, Damnation will bring you in softly, but just start here. Yes, there is the death metal growl is back, but it's a character in the story. It's different than before, different from those early, Opeth albums, Orchid, etc. It's kind of in the mix, a bit like Blood Incantation. It's kind of an extra character in the story of the songs, and the way that it just switches from normal vocals to this growl is just incredible. The music, the orchestration, the symphonic aspect of it. This is brilliant. I haven't watched the DVD yet. That's the version I've got, CD and DVD, but this is going to be my list. I hope I can still get we're heading towards Christmas as I did this video, but I'm hoping to do a separate video all on this. But honestly, I just can't stop playing it. Opeth rocks, man. This is just great. Now I'm dialing in a different direction now. This is something else that's new, but I'm wading my way through it. And it's Kevin Ayers, All This Crazy Gift of Time. This is a new box set from Esoteric, Blu-ray, as well as, how many discs are there? There's 9 CDs and 1 Blu-ray disc. So it covers his entire career, all the way up to Bannermore. Just stops short of my favourite album by him. But I've been basically dipping in and out of this, and I love the way he evolves. It's kind of like if Nick Drake and Syd Barrett went for a beer, they must have met him in the pub, because all of these characters I've just mentioned, all of them together would make a fantastic lineup to go and see. But this is a voyage of discovery for me, because to be honest, Joy for a Toy is the one everyone talks about, but I actually, there's the live stuff on here, but Whatever She May Bring, We Sing is great, and the BBC sessions are really good. But Bannermore more after the show. No, I haven't watched the video yet, so I don't know, but I'm going to do a separate unboxing video for that. So I'm really enjoying that. Where next? Blues. I don't talk about blues music as much as I should, really. And this, what I'm playing now, is the best of Freddy King. This is a compilation. I bought this from at the Sheldon Wheatsheaf, where I used to where I grew up. There was a little record shop on the corner. It wasn't there that long. It was there in the early mid-70s, and they did their best. They didn't have much room, and every so often when they needed more stock in, they used to sell stuff off. And I bought this and Fighting by Thin Lizzy for 50p each. Yeah, really. And this was my first exposure to Freddy King. Of all the King guitarists, Freddie, Albert, BB, Freddie is my favourite. I think BB King is great, but I was kind of like, I thought, well, no one talks about Freddie King. I think I saw him on the Ogre Whistle Test. I can't remember what the track was. And that kind of turned me on to him, the way he kind of like, I just loved his playing. BB King had that track, The Thrill Is Gone. And I think there must have been pressure, because that was the first blues song, wasn't it, to have like strings with it, I think. And there must have been not pressure, but maybe Freddie looked over the garden fence and thought, I could do that. And he did. And the track that on this album on A&M Records, where is it? I think it was the last track on side 2. I could just look at the cover behind me, but there you go. Help Me Through the Night? Yeah, Help Me Through the Night. What a track is that? What a track. I mean, there are other ballads on here. Help Me Through the Day. See, that's what happens when you don't put your glasses on. Help Me Through the Day by Leon Russell. It's absolutely brilliant. Palace of the King, Woman Across the River, I'd Rather Be Blind. That's a blues song, isn't it? Reconsider Baby, Boogeyman, Going Down by Don Nix, which of course Purple did on their tour from 1974. But you can just tell from that picture that he's playing one note, and he's just hit that point when he's got all the sustain he needs to keep that note going just as long as he wants it to, you know. And the bass player and the drummer are just watching him, and keyboard player thinking, when should we move? He's in that moment, isn't he? Freddy King, one of the great blues players. Superb. Last week I mentioned I've been playing Lisa Gerard and the theme from Whale Rider. There's been more of that, not the theme from Whale Rider, but Lisa. And this is Come Tenderness. This is a new vinyl album which brings together lots of her stuff with one extra track as well. I'm going to do a separate review on that, but I'm absolutely loving that. I have waited forever for this. I was so lucky to interview Andy Scott from The Sweet. And sometimes I'm very lucky that not only do I get to interview people, but I sometimes get sent the record that they're promoting. But with this, especially, and Moggs Motel, I had to go and find them myself, which is okay. But this has just arrived, and I interviewed Andy ages ago, and it's going to be in my top 25 albums of 2024, but I've only just got a copy. And I think I raved about it when I interviewed Andy. And I obviously, I love Cats in Space, and this is the first vocalist of Cats in Space is in The Sweet. But there isn't one bad track on this. This is like the 80s rechanneled, but not in a cheesy way, in a really grown-up, mature rock and roll way. And I'll do a separate review if I've got time, but this is a superb album. Absolutely great. We're nearly there, I think. Last week, I also interviewed Scott Lade. We talked about his top 5 prog albums of all time, and it was a great show, and we are going to do others together. But one of the albums he mentioned, which was Thick of the Brick, and I have played this on my deluxe edition and even my 1997 edition as well. I've played this honestly about 5 or 6 times. I've sat down and immersed myself in the 5.1 mix as well, but I've basically settled for the Stephen Wilson remix. And it's made me really realise just how advanced and clever this was. I did say when I spoke to Scott that in the UK, these tracks that were just one album, I mean, in the States, they seem to just run with it. But over here, I think people found it quite difficult. But listening to it now, and I forgot, I should have said when I spoke to Scott, I think that I just love, I love Hammond organ. I just love that there's parts of it, the instrumentation. It is so great, isn't it? One of the first, I think, super deluxe editions by Jethro Tull. And every single one of these has got a review on this channel in a playlist. So you can go and watch them one after the other. But yeah, fantastic. So thank you, Scott. That was superb. And I've really enjoyed that. Last but two, I think, is it? Yep, just two left. This is almost like things I didn't like, but now I do in reverse. No, it's the right way around. Little Feat box set, Hot Cakes and Outtakes, 4 CD set. I've owned this twice. Okay, those of you who are Little Feat fans, you better sit down. Where I used to work in Leamington Spa, there was a department there that looked after the charts, the UK album charts, singles charts. And the way that music was released is that there has to be a copy of everything that's released in the country is catalogued and kept in the British Library, everything. And obviously, being in office in a building, they ran out of room quite often. So what they used to do was they used to sell this stuff off at £3 for whatever it was, and then give the money to charity. And this was one of the things I picked up. I think it was £3, and you paid an extra £1 for each disc. So it was it 3, 4, 5, 6? It was £6. And I thought, well, this, I've heard of this band Little Feat. Everyone's talked about them when I used to go to record shops and music shops. People are either playing the doobies up the corner or they had Little Feat on. I presume it's Little Feat after I'd listened to it. So I thought, this'll be good. I played it, right? And I didn't like one thing off it. I didn't like anything. I'll be honest, I skipped through a lot of the tracks because as soon as I realised that I wasn't liking what I was hearing, I just thought, next. And then I had a friend who played drums and he was into jazz and stuff, and he was coming over for his birthday, and I thought, and Sue was saying, what shall we get, Gary? I said, I'll give him this. And I gave it away. And then, quite recently, in my evolution, what was it? Well, it's nearby now. Waiting for Columbus, that's it. Waiting for Columbus came out as a deluxe edition box set. And everyone, lots of people in the music group, the Now Spinning Magazine music group and Facebook were talking about, got to get that. I thought it was quite costly, and all of a sudden the price dropped. And so I put it forward for something I could have for my birthday. And I played it. And as each track came by, I thought, God, that was great. God, that was fantastic. It was a bit like jazz fusion, lots of really stretching out, great instrumentation, funk solos, slide guitar, great vocals, reminded me of the Allman Brothers and the Doobies. Why couldn't I hear that in the first time? And I thought, God, this is really good. And then I started to buy the 2 CD, 3 CD deluxe sets of each album. And then I was on eBay the day, and I saw this for £25. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to give it another go. I mean, I like any other stuff. Got it. Played every disc, even disc 3, which is the time when Lowell George is long gone, and a lot of people see this as being like, the time when the band kind of weren't Little Feat anymore, 1988 to 1998. I love that as well. I loved it, especially Home Ground. And then you've got some rarities and stuff. I liked literally every single track of something that came out in the year 2000 that I didn't like. Isn't life weird? Strange. And I say so many times now, don't I, that I don't know what I don't like anymore. Whether it's doing this or opening my ears to just everything. But I love Little Feat now. I absolutely love them. Honestly, I didn't like anything off that. And now I like all of it. Incredible. I might do something else on Little Feat. And lastly is another band that probably follows a similar route, where I became fanatical about them. Now, some of you, I know this is a Marmite band, but I don't care, because I think they're absolutely brilliant. I never used to. Last one, Kiss. Creatures of the Night. Birmingham Odeon, 1976. Tickets were £1. I didn't go. I just saw pictures of them wearing makeup and thought, it's not for me. It's not real. What's going on? You know, it's like the Sweet on steroids or something. I've just shown you an album by the Sweet. Didn't understand it. Couldn't understand it at all. And then it could be 10 years ago, whenever Paul Stanley's autobiography came out, I bought that sheet from a bookshop. And I don't know why, I just thought, well, I like reading rock biographies. I read it. And as I read it, the fact I didn't know he was born with only one ear and all this kind of stuff, and the way he told the story, I started listening to Kiss, because you have to, because it was the soundtrack to the book. Now, to be fair, there were some albums in the 80s, regardless. Asylum is my favourite Kiss album, but they weren't wearing makeup at that point, were they? And the songs, King of the Mountain and all this kind of stuff, and Who Wants to Be Lonely, I loved it. I love that period of the band. Some of the videos are very cheesy. But I remember this one for lots of reasons, because we just got a jukebox in our local pub, and I Love It Loud was on rotation, because this is the return of the band after the older, which I love as well, but they were seen as like in steep decline. This was their comeback album, and it is really heavy. It really is heavy, and I think it is one of their greatest albums. Creatures of the Night, Rock and Roll Hell, War Machine. There's a definite mark down the middle of the Stanley tracks and the Simmons tracks, but when they worked together as well as they did, it really, really worked well. Creatures of the Night. So that's my last album for my playlist of this week, The Mighty Kiss, and I am going to call them The Mighty Kiss, because I just love them. I just love them. You know what? Yeah. I know, for those of you with nervous disposition, I'm going to do a ranking video on Kiss, because I've got everything by them. I think I have. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, that'll be next. Well, soon. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you have been playing. Subscribe, please. Become a Patron or YouTube member, and you'll get to see not only the videos before they go live to anyone else, but you will have access to the awesome Now Spinning Magazine private Facebook group for collectors and music nuts from around the world, plus access to the WhatsApp group, where there's lots of things you talk about. You get special, you get alerts on special deals, new releases, and talk about every genre on every format. And plus there's 2 virtual meetups as well now down the virtual pub called the Now Spinning Arms. And there are t-shirts, there's merch. The Now Spinning Magazine Multiverse is in a town near you. So remember, music is the healer and the doctor. So keep spinning those discs, and we'll see each other very, very soon.